We'll call this Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meeting to order. It's March 15th. Welcome to each of you for being here tonight, and appreciate your service to this community. Did we send out the minutes from the last meeting?
You know, it's been so long since we met. We were just talking about that. We didn't even.
Didn't send them out? Okay.
And we don't
Been
have them
almost,
with us.
it's been the last year.
Yeah. Well, of course we
I
had
think
weather
it was
one
like
night.
October the last time we met, isn't it?
Then we had
Wow.
some bad weather, but we're
How
getting
y'all
started.
doing?
Maybe it's all gone. We'll go right into staff report, Robin.
Yes. We didn't have as busy a winter as we had hoped for because the weather didn't quite cooperate with us, but we did get some, finally got our major ball field maintenance underway. In conjunction with the league, we did some major grading to our ball fields, and then the league is actually gonna put on Safe Coat. It's kind of an extra added bonus to make our fields even better, and we're very gracious that the league has the funds to help us with that, because it's kind of an extra above and beyond just making the fields playable, but it's gonna really make our fields nice. So we're in the process of finishing that up, and the mowing contract, the people that we contracted with have done an excellent job. This is the third year of a 3-year contract, so the board did vote to renew their contract for their final year, and then next spring we'll be bidding that out again, just so everybody knows that. You have a council report, I think, in front of you. This was just our February council report. It's got all our activities and revenues. Any questions on the council report?
Is this just for February?
Yes. In the wintertime, our building rentals are up quite a bit because people don't use pavilions.
I have a question about the civic auditorium. I spoke with someone today, said they had a problem with the floor over there or something.
Yeah, we did. I was going to mention that too. I'm glad you brought that up. We had some problems. We discovered a while back that there was a termite problem at the Civic Auditorium, and we had it inspected, and there was some structural damage underneath it as far as some of the main floor joists were damaged by the termites, and we had some people look at it, and we actually are having a company come in and jack up the floor and secure. Jerry knows
Yeah, they're
a little bit
replacing
more
some
about
floor joists and putting some piers in there, additional piers. It's a pretty long span.
And
Yeah.
it's actually they started it, and Cecil went over and looked at it this afternoon, and he said it's amazing. It's you can visually see the difference. We've just been used to it for so long. I guess we didn't realize that the floor was sinking in that one area. I mean, it was never dangerous. We did have people look at it for the safety, and it was never like a danger the floor was going to fall through, but it was just starting to sag. And but in the process of jacking that floor up, it cracked the wall a little bit. So we'll have some repair to do, but in the long run, it's a good thing. League report, right now we have over 800 signed up for our softball and baseball, youth softball and baseball. And their opening day right now is scheduled for April 10th. They may do it earlier in the week. The April 10th is that Saturday, the Saturday after Easter weekend. They may start some games earlier in the week, but that's what we're looking at now. Inline hockey, we had over 175.
The number's growing. We had
Still
4
adding.
more kids today.
Good.
A lot of new kids this season that never played. We get a lot of new
That's
stuff.
great. That's great. Yeah, I think y'all did a little bit of creative marketing this year.
Well, just a little. We didn't really have much time, but we're really looking for doing some stuff in the fall. I think we're going to see significant number growth in the
Good,
fall.
good. And their opening day, I believe it got rained out this past weekend, so it's now scheduled for March 27th. And then the YMCA soccer, they've got about 200 kids and still doing sign-ups for that. And their opening is April 10th as well. And adult softball, we're still taking teams right now. They're scheduled to start March 29th.
What time is that soccer?
I don't know what time. It's probably 8 or 9 o'clock that morning. They'll do a little opening.
Same way with baseball?
I don't think they've even scheduled a time yet. It's usually sometime that morning though. But if you're interested, we'll get you that information as soon as they set it. And we did finally have our annual Youth League Administrators meeting. It got canceled with weather as well, and but we did have that on February 13th, and it was a very good meeting with the Youth League administrators for each of our leagues, and they really had a good, I think, successful meeting. Talked about some stuff and connected, and everybody's on the same page, so it was good stuff. We're looking for a really good year with our leagues. Everybody working well together and helping each other out. So,
Okay. Anything else, Robin?
that's it.
Any questions from anyone?
No.
Okay. We'll go right into the old business. We have 2 items under old business. It's just there. Weather warning system being one of the items. And Robin, you may want to just speak in general terms of where we're at on that and how we're proceeding, and as we were discussing earlier.
Well, we're working on it. It's actually closer to a reality than it ever has been. The city was awarded storm ready status again through the National Weather Service, and so we're getting a little bit of attention for that, but a lot of the emergency services in town have really come together and decided that the weather warning system is important, and as we're updating some of our mandated communication equipment and stuff, it's kind of just fallen into place. The company that we're looking at doing the weather warning system has a pretty good financing program as well, and I think that we've got a possible funding source to help us with it to begin with, and I think if we can get some funding for it, I believe that the Board of Mayor and Aldermen is likely to maybe see the need for it, and it's going to be a tough budget year, but I think we can probably pass it, especially since we're going to have the financing available. So, you want to speak more on that, Jerry?
No, I think that's good enough.
But
Yeah.
it's closer to a reality than it ever has been. It's really being talked about and really looking at the logistics of making it happen. So, gotta like that.
Next item would be Park Ranger, which we've discussed for several years now, and even council strongly considered it in the last budget year, but of course funding is an issue, and it will be an issue again this year, we're certain. So, but we leave that there just to keep it in your mind on that, and
We're possibly trying to be creative this year too. During budget, we'll talk about a couple of creative alternatives to Park Ranger. So even if we don't get one full time, we might work something out.
Next is new business, and we've got a couple of things that's here tonight. One is a recycling program that some of you may be aware that it started here, and it's being run by the Parks and Rec Department. And Robin, if you want to get into some detail on that.
I will, and I have to give credit to Angie Mays. She started this and kind of headed it up and did all the information gathering, and what we've done is we have a monitor for each building or each facility within the city to help us with it and keep an eye on that building and what's going on with it. And I think it's going really well. We're trying to keep the cost down. We did buy a few containers to put around at the different buildings, but we're really making the biggest push on paper recycling because I think that's the thing that we have the most of in waste. And the company here in Laverne, what's it called?
Southeast.
They for free put out dumpsters at various locations, so we have them at, I think, 4 of our buildings now, and they take any paper, anything, junk mail, shredded paper, phone books, magazines, newspapers, anything. So we're really trying to encourage city employees to, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for them, because I know that's the one thing that keeps people from recycling sometimes is they just, it's a few extra steps and they don't really feel like they have the time. But we're just trying to make it easy for them and have containers at the right places and, you know, encourage them and educate them. And so I think a lot of people are on board with it and really making the effort this time. And we're even encouraging them to bring stuff from home if they want to, as well as people in the community can also use these dumpsters as long as they're staying within the bound of what can go in the dumpsters. We don't want just trash put in these dumpsters, but that's the first step, is just within the city trying to get us more conscious, environmentally aware of what we're doing, and then eventually we're hoping to ripple out onto the community and try to do some things in the community. I think we've kind of coined this year as the year for Laverne to go green. I don't know if y'all noticed, we planted 3 trees when we had to cut down some trees over Christmas to do our Christmas tree lighting ceremony. We lost a couple of trees, but we've planted 3 to replace the 2 that we lost, and we're hoping to be able to use them in the future for our Christmas lighting ceremonies, and plus they look nice. So we're just trying to be a little bit more aware and using any opportunity we can to educate and about recycling and not littering and, you know, all those things.
When Angie put out an email, I guess to those who have signed up on the Laverne site, people may recall a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago maybe, suggesting recycling companies, people who come and pick up stuff at home, and doing a big disclaimer that the city isn't sponsoring any of them, but to put it out to the community.
Yes, that's the other piece of it. Thank you for
You're
bringing that up. That's the other piece of it, is just encouraging the people in the community to recycle as well. She did some information gathering about the companies that will come to your house if you put it out. There is a fee involved usually,
Yes.
not very much, but there is a fee involved. But you know, if you're paying somebody to pick up your trash anyway, you might as well have them pick up recycling as well. But she came up with a list of the companies that do it in Laverne, that offer that service in Laverne, so that the people in the city that are interested in having that service, they have a resource now to find out who, you know, they can check them out themselves, but they at least have a starting point.
I think it's great.
Any other questions?
These recycle bins, where are they located?
There is one here at City Hall, there's one at the Senior Center, there's one at Parks and Rec Building, and there's one at Public Works. And those are for paper only. And we are doing the plastic bottles and plastics as well as cans, and we're just collecting them ourselves at each of the buildings and taking them where they belong. But the paper dumpsters are at those 4 locations. So if anybody has paper trash that they want to
Cardboard or no cardboard?
No cardboard. We are working on a cardboard option, but we haven't found any place to take that just yet. So we're still working on cardboard, but for now it's just paper. And the city does get a little bit of income, not much. They empty the dumpsters, I think every couple of weeks. They're kind of just gauging it right now to see how often it is going to need to be emptied, and the city does get a check back for so much per ton Of course, you know, it's not gonna pay all our bills, but at least it helps a little bit.
Now, are these bins secure? So if somebody wanted to bring, you know, bank statements or private information, is that something that they should consider or no?
That the company tells us that it's secure, that once it gets to their facility, they guarantee that it's secure. Personally, I'm shredding. If I've got anything that's got my information on it, I'm shredding it, and that's what I would recommend to anybody else that wanted to put it in there. You know, you never know once it leaves your hands, but we have been told that it's secure, but I would shred it.
All right, anyone else? Community garden.
Okay, we have talked a little bit in the past, and it seems like this year we've gotten more phone calls than ever on people interested in a community garden. Now, there's lots of different ways to do it, and there's and we're not really sure if it will work in our community or not. So, the first thing that we're going to do is have a public meeting about it, and we have been doing research on community gardens. A lot of community gardens are more done in the private sector, but we're really trying to gear our research into how other municipalities or government organizations have set them up and done them in the past, and we're going to just get information together, and then we're going to have a public meeting, and we want the public's input. We want just to see who's interested and what they're interested in, what they want to put into it and what they want to get out of it, and just see if it's even feasible in our community. So wanted to get y'all's input and feedback. If you had any ideas on what we should include, or if you had any thoughts on it. If you think it's a good idea, talk it up, get people that you know would be interested in it to come to the meeting. The meeting is next Tuesday, March 23rd at 7 o'clock right here at City Hall. So we're just putting it out there. We have no idea what direction it's gonna go from there, but we're just putting it out there and just seeing what the need is.
It's the week of spring break, and a lot of the people with whom I've spoke
Are
are
gonna be
having a
gone.
disconnect because of spring. Well, they're not traveling because, you know, the problems with the economy, but they've really looked at that as, you know, the people with families as core time. So I'm trying to get people to come. There's a group called Earth Matters that's been functioning in Davidson County for about 10 years. The director for that is a guy named Sizwe Herring, and they've been doing community gardens. In fact, I'm doing an 8-week permaculture class with them right now.
Okay.
And one of the things that they really talk about being important is having a place for the kids to play that is separate from where you want to grow the gardens, so that we don't have kids running through the gardens. Apparently they're about to have a big meeting. They're having a second meeting somewhere in downtown Nashville about this. And like you were saying, Ms. Robin, it's being run by people from the top down, and they haven't planned for anything for the kids. And a lot of people who get involved in the community gardening, it's because we want healthy food for our children, and we want the experience of them being a part of the environment. So hopefully that'll be something that, it might seem small, but it really can change the dynamic of who we bring to a garden. And one of the things that my neighbors are concerned about is where would it be? You know, and I didn't know whether there was more than one site that would be considered. I think it's a wonderful thing, and this is being taped, I guess, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you're watching this, come out on the 23rd. Where do I look? Do I look somewhere? Come out on the 23rd at 7 o'clock here at City Hall. It's worth it.
And those are the kinds of details that we're looking for, because this is the kind of thing you don't need to reinvent the wheel. If there's other places that have done it, you need to learn from what worked and what didn't work with them. So hopefully we can, as we're gathering our information, find out, you know, things from them, good, bad, ugly, ideas from them.
And we can capture water. I mean, I'm learning it's really amazingly simple to capture rainwater. And you can divert the rainwater, and we don't even have to put chemicals in, all this mosquito keep away. It's as simple as putting vegetable oil in the water, and it destabilizes the egg. So there are ways to do it and keep it as chemical-free as possible so that we can actually have healthy food. It's really amazing. Your point is so on. There's a word, it's resource. I'll never think of it the same. It's resourcing what you already have. So there's a lot of people who've been on the ground doing this for a long time. And it's a matter of just getting the people in the community to come on out.
We have we have like 3 or 4 locations that we're looking at, and that's one of the things we're going to discuss at the meeting is pros and cons of each location, and things like kids and, you know, convenience, and one of the things we're worried about, if it's not a location that is kind of out in the open, we're afraid people might mess with it. You know,
Fair
just,
concern.
yeah.
That's fair.
So anyway, we're looking at all that kind of stuff. So bring your ideas, bring your thoughts, and let's just put it out there. See what the need is in this community, and if we can do something with that.
I think it's wonderful what you guys have done. And maybe we can remember that if a lot of people can't come out for this one for whatever reason, you know, maybe people like me will go out and talk it up. All of us can talk it up with our neighbors, and then we can try again if this one doesn't fly.
Right. Anyone else? Nope. All right. Upcoming events.
Community garden public meeting is the first one. Also, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, March 27th, is our annual Easter egg hunt. At 9 o'clock that Saturday morning is when the games start. We'll do the little games for the first hour, and then at 10 o'clock the Easter egg hunt will start, and at 10:01 the Easter egg hunt will be over. So
So true.
we are still dividing it into the 3 age groups, but we'll just do one right after the other. We'll start with the little kids, and then it's, you know, as soon as we get them started, and you know, a minute later we'll start the next group, and then we'll start the
What are the age groups?
0 to 2,
0 to 2 is the first one,
3 to 5,
3 to 5,
and 6 to 11.
6 to 11. So that's the 27th, 9 o'clock, right here at Bicentennial Park here at City Hall. And then we wanted to go ahead and put this out there just so people can get it on their calendars. The summer camp sign-ups is May the 8th, and that's usually a big day for us. And we have people getting in line early, so it's May the 8th at the Parks and Recreation Building. Will actually start at 9 o'clock. So
How many kids are going to be able to accommodate in that program?
50
kids.
50 each week for 6 weeks.
And PAL Camp? Does PAL Camp happen separately?
PAL Camp is separate, and
Okay.
in the past, they have done it after ours, between when ours ends and school starts. But I think ours is a little later this year, and school's starting a little earlier this year, so they're talking about doing it the week or 2 before our camp, in June. They haven't, I don't think they have their dates in concrete yet, or their plans in concrete yet, but that's when they're looking at doing it, is right after school's out, and then before our camp starts. Is that right?
Okay. Our next meeting will be April 19th here at City Hall at 6 o'clock. Is there any other comments or anyone like to share? Bob, you're awfully quiet tonight. That's very
I
unusual.
forgot, you know, the meetings have been so far back.
I mean,
I gotta get back in the swing of it.
okay. We can give you another 10 seconds or so if you'd like.
No, I just appreciate what our, I know, who is that over there? Our director of Parks and Rec, I appreciate what you're doing. I think the community appreciate too. You're doing a good job.
Well, thank you very much, and I'd like to pass
And
that on
also,
to my staff.
with, well, I forgot her name. Kim, yeah. She does an outstanding job as well
She
with all the
does,
bookkeeping and everything that she does, keeps everybody done.
absolutely.
Keep all this stuff up to date, so.
absolutely. She and the whole department is, they're
Yeah.
all great.
Robin, how many people are in Parks and Rec? How many staff do you have?
17.
Well, 17 total, but 8 are part-time. So we only have 9 full-time, is that right?
That's correct.
We have 9 full-time and 8 part-time, year-round. So it's still a pretty small staff to accomplish what we do. And then in the summer, we add 10 more part-time seasonal. So, yeah.
Anyone else?
Have we had any problems up at the park over the past several months?
We really hadn't. I think part of that's been because it's been so cold, not as many people out there. We have had a couple of vandalism incidents, nothing major, but we have had a couple that we've,
This year?
this year, yeah.
I do have one more question. I was up at the park, of course, practicing with my team now. And I was still on the sign, it says no skating toward the bathrooms. What are we gonna do about that? We're gonna just leave that sign that way?
We do leave the sign that way because we do know that the inline skaters are gonna be coming through there with their skates, and the league knows that. The league helps us enforce that when they're having their games and activities, and they know that the inline participants are gonna be coming through there with their skates on, but we don't want just kids cruising through there on their skateboards or just, randomly coming through with their skates.
I
So-
was just wondering because I was concerned that there would be an issue with, folks reading the sign and then one of our kids are coming through, make a quick run, and someone yelling, hey, get out, you can't skate here.
Well, I hope that the inline hockey league in the past, I think, has let them know that they're exempt from that rule, and so I encourage the coaches and the administrators to let the kids know and the people participating in the inline hockey know that they can go to the bathroom.
Well, it's just, folks that are within the park up there that see that sign telling the kids as they're coming, that's my concern. If someone sees a sign that's over for a ball game or something and sees one of our kids coming through.
And we have
decides to
had
say,
that.
"Hey,
We
kid,
have had
you
that.
can't come up here."
We've had people tell on them, and fortunately, there's enough communication that our softball and baseball administrators, oh no, they're fine, they can come through here. So
Okay.
That was a good
Do,
question. 'Cause I'm
we
one
got
of those
anything
parents,
planned
if I
for our
think kids
parks?
breaking the rule, I call 'em on
The one
Good for
in Lake Forest, is that complete now, or?
it is not complete. We still we need to phase in the playground and a walking trail, but unfortunately, the budget is very, very, very tight, and that's not a high priority.
Can't get no grants?
Well, we've worked on some grants. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that the vice mayor and I were talking about before the meeting. We have a few grants that we might lose because we don't even have the money to come up with a match, with our match on them, because times are just tough right now. So, we're trying to just be very thankful for what we do have and really take care of the facilities that we do have and hope that in the near future that we will get some more money to do. We've got Lake Forest that still has another phase, and we've got Brookside across the interstate that we're hoping to put a trail in later this year, but it still needs, it doesn't have picnic tables or parking lot or playground or anything yet. And we've also got Heritage Valley that we have a contract with them, and we've got about 5 more years, I think it is. And it needs to have, some kind of development done to it. So we've got a lot of projects, and we have a list of them, and we've got priorities. The ball field, we've been talking about the new full-size baseball field for several years. Can't get it funded.
What about the sidewalks?
Now, sidewalks, if everything goes right, Fergus Road sidewalks are gonna go in this year, and Cheney Boulevard sidewalks are gonna go in next year. and that's as far as we've forecasted at this time, but, it's tough. It's gonna be a really tough budget year, so we just all have to work together and prioritize citywide. You know, it's not even just a department prioritizing now, it's like everybody coming together and trying to figure out what's important and what's got to be done. Safety issues have got to be addressed.
We shall overcome.
That's right.
Right.
We'll
The,
hang in there and make it work.
Oh, yeah, it will work, and as Robin said, on some of the grants, we'll be prioritizing what's got the most impact, positive impact to the community, and kind of decide where we want to do the match at, with what little funding we do have available, and that's how we'll work that, but we'll get through that. Anyone else have any comments? Nothing else? Again, the next meeting will be April 19th, and don't forget the events coming up next week being the community garden and then the Easter egg hunt coming up as well. This meeting's adjourned.